to the old members that have found their way back to the community. I need you just as much as you need me. In this afternoon's early afternoon live, I decided to come on right now because we're hitting that opportune moment here. We've been talking about this for ever since Bitcoin started to rally up. We talked about once it formed that cup at around 60, and I told you earlier when I did the update, if anybody was watching it this morning, that Bitcoin didn't come up far enough and it needed to finish that move before it could put in the handle. And it was very important that it came up and at least got over it or tapped it equally at just over 69K, and it did. And now we should all be expecting this big consolidation now. This is what we've been talking about, where we believe most people will end up selling out before the actual big move for XRP, because now Bitcoin put in the biggest cup that you will see in crypto from 2021 in November or April, completed the cup now. And now the fact it's going to put in this gigantic consolidation before the halving, that means we could actually explode out of it if Bitcoin puts the proper handle here. And we could be looking at plus 125, 130K here, maybe up to 150 if we put in the proper handle. So a lot of people are going to say, oh my God, Bitcoin's down 6%, not even close to where it needs to go. You're talking about a better than 14,000 point drop possibly from right here. You heard that right. If Bitcoin comes down under 60,000 and makes a bigger handle than just a 9, 10,000 point drop, it should be somewhere in the terms of 20, 25,000, possibly more. It could even go down to 38,000, but you can't speculate that far until you get there. But right now, Bitcoin has come up, hit all-time highs, completed the cup we've been talking about, but now it's part of the bullish handle formation here. So you've got to build the handle. If Bitcoin does it deep enough, strong enough, and does it in the proper way, and doesn't shortchange it, Bitcoin could be targeting 150,000 possibly. I would first look at 100 or that 88,000. But anyhow, that's what could happen out of this bullish cup. That is a massive, when we measured it, and even if you do a small measurement, it still puts you over 120,000 based on the size of the cup. So we'll see where it goes. But as far as XRP, we talked in this morning's update. If you're new, you wouldn't have seen this. I know there's a large amount of the viewers in the live that there's about 35% of the live viewers that only watch the live, as to where only 25% of the people who watch the updates only watch the updates. So more people only watch lives than updates, and then the rest watch both. But in this morning's update, I talked about the rising channel and the likelihood of going down to 57, or I think it was 58 cents. It's about a 12% drop out of the channel. So otherwise you could have went up to 77 cents if we broke bullish. But as we know, rising channels are bearish reversals, and this would still be a bullish consolidation if XRP does this properly. This is exactly what we want to see. It's just a lot of people, if you're not paying attention, we talked. Once it got to 66.6 cents, that's where we would expect a pullback. I was targeting a 35 to 40% move before the pullback, and we hit it exactly. So there's nothing that I would change in this analysis. And we'll go forward and we'll reiterate what we've been saying, as now we're in the process of correction. As I said in the title, retracement. And this is critical. This is a critical time for XRP holders so that you understand what's going on. It's not just XRP. DGB's down 12%, but as we stated, DGB, would it be going down 20, 25% from 1.3? Or would it have made an overzealous run to 1.8, and then the correction would be just a bounce on top? Or would the correction still keep you over 1 cent even on an overzealous pull down? See, this is what we're saying. XRP hasn't had that big run up like a lot of these other ones, so it's not going to have that support. XRP, if you bought it at 48.8 cents like we were suggesting you did, if you didn't buy it at 34 cent exchange when we did it about a year ago today, to today's date, that was a perfect spot because you could have held off a consolidation like this. And like I said, you could make an educated decision if you want to stay in, if you're ready for the long haul, or if you just wanted a quick swing trade to make 35 or 40%, which is exactly what you got. And XRP filled it out exactly like we wanted. Now the problem is because we didn't break up to the next level, we're facing with this rising channel. And like I said earlier, I'm not sugarcoating it for anybody because I want everybody to see. This is what we were talking about earlier. XRP, when I brought this up earlier, was up at almost 66 point. It was about 66 cents in this morning's update, or at least coming back up to the high 65.5 cent area. But I talked about this, and then it's a 12% drop from here, and it should, that's about 55 cent area, roughly. So, I mean, it almost fell out exactly where we targeted it too. So let's move it over a little bit. Let's see this targeted drop. Yeah, it's just over. It's about 12.5% from here. Not from here, but from when it first fell out. So you're looking at a 12.5% drop from 63 cents. I always tell everybody, if you come here, the bullish times are fun, but a lot of people hate me when it's about to go bearish because I say the exact same thing when it goes bullish as bearish. I'm telling you the proper positioning, the proper short-term variables that pop up within the wider formations, and there's no more shorter-term variable that popped up than this formation that started on February 27th. It's only been 8 days, but it's a very defined channel, and what threw us off, or not threw us off, but what led us to understand that this is what was going to happen was this got pulled away. I apologize. This is supposed to be like this. So it's actually, we've actually already started. That's why I was thrown off, why the number didn't seem right. It should be a little bit higher than where, it's not much difference, but it seemed different than what I was reading earlier. Okay, it's still 55. But it told us that we had this rising channel when we came down last night, or early this morning when we had this dump down to 623. It actually hit that rising channel support for a third time. You need 3 hits on resistance and support on most patterns. Outside of like a broadening wedge, for whatever reason, the legend only needs 2, because typically on the third time back up, it usually breaks bullish, as we've seen with Bitcoin. But with XRP, and we'll get into the intro, and I'll get into talking to everybody. What I want to make sure everybody sees this in the very beginning, just in case you don't decide to stick around, at least take this education with you, but when you leave. So resistance 1, support 1, resistance 2, support 2. Or actually, sorry about that. Resistance, support, resistance, resistance, support, support. So we've hit 3 on each side. Now the fact we broke through, now if we back test, even if we come back to 64 and get rejected, our technical target on a breakdown is down there. We can't ignore this. This is the technical target from the size of the width, or the up and down, whatever you want to call it, of the pattern right here. So this is telling us that we should correct down to 55. And this is perfectly timed, like I was trying to say earlier. Bitcoin, and I was very adamant about it in this morning's update, because Bitcoin at the time came up just short, as you can see. It was at 68,849. And then initially this morning, Bitcoin came up to 68,947. And I said it wasn't going to cut it. You can't build the handle. If Bitcoin had that cut forming since November or April of 21, if you don't hit at least the target, and we went over and we made sure 69,000 it had to hit. We had to hit that wick, and we did it now, and now we can form this bullish handle, and we theorize that this bullish handle should bring us down, and it all depends. It could come down as low as 38. There is a small possibility 60 could hold, but just what I'm seeing, and let me draw this out full scale, and then I'm going to get into the intro and the comments, but I'm just trying to give everybody the info because it's very important right now as we start. I'm seeing something possibly like that, unless it does form all the way down to the first handle. That could bring us down here even. It could bring us down lower to where it first started. I mean, we don't know. But the bullish handle, to me, anything worse than something like that is going to get a little tricky. So we'll start in the first area, but now we need to know. A bullish handle here brings you up well over 100,000. So Bitcoin's got the make it or break it moment here. Are we going to build a bullish handle on the consolidation? And are alt like XRP going to have their day next? Because XRP is wound up tight, and some of them you'll see drop 20, 30% in this drop. XRP should be capped around 15, 16% at the most. Obviously quick wicks, but you're going to see some go 30, 35% here probably. Shiba might go 50 if we do this properly. Doge might go 35 if it does it properly. But these ones also had bigger gains. That's why they're 3 times ahead of XRP right now. So, you know, you got to take this as it is. So make sure you're paying attention to these very volatile moments. But I assure you, like I always do, I will be here every step of the way. And I will try to front run everything that's about to come. So let me do the intro. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people. I didn't feel that way before I started the live, but once there was 25 people waiting, I knew there was going to be. So if you're watching right now, please make sure to hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this video. This is one of the most important videos that we will put out all week because the volume is, or the price is going down, and a lot of people decide not to show up and do their job on social media You know, it's harder to come in when things are going down and you're trying to put a positive spin on it. But I'll maintain that you have to be. This is one of the most important videos. Just want to make sure all my stuff was working. But you have to make sure that you are just as vigilant during the high times of volatility as you are to the big dumps. And even you want bullish consolidation. So if you want the price to go up, you want it to go down right now and finish this off so Bitcoin can put this bullish handle. Make no mistake about it. So let me get through this real quickly. And if you're trying to take advantage of this on this drop, I pinned it. BITUNIX, take advantage of it. USA and even Canada, they have their licenses. So they're legitimate. And during the high times of volatility, they stay up. The exchange is up right now. I even decided to do a test and send an XRP transfer during the high times of volatility, and it went right away. Took a few seconds. I was able to do what I needed to do. It was just a couple $100 to test the system. But I like to test things in high times of volatility, so I know. No VPN required in the USA, and lowest spot fees and futures leverage fees in the USA. You can also use it in Canada as well, as they have a license as of 2024, USA as of 2022, a trading license. So pay attention to it. Get yourself situated for the next drop. Make sure you can move things in a high time of volatility. That's all I'm saying. We're getting hamstringed right now by the likes of Uphold always going down, and Coinbase, and fucking Binance, and Kraken, and I can go on and on and on. But for whatever reason, everything seems to go down in high times of volatility, or at least most exchanges. So I'm trying to figure it out for us. So that's in the pinned comments. The only time I'm going to talk about it till the end. Crypto J, welcome in. Appreciate you, says Tom for president. I appreciate that. Sean Crothers, welcome in, my main man from Maine and one of my mods in the house. I appreciate that. Humza, welcome in, along with John Booglethorpe. Welcome to both of you in Tom's Army in month 1, as that's the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. Really appreciate that, as that's my face superimposed on there. You better believe it. Humza says, hit that like button. Chris, welcome in, says this is going to be a good one. It sure is. And we also have something else, if you stick around, that we must talk about before we leave. So there's some news that came out as well at around 1:29 Eastern Standard Time. I'm not sure how that plays out because it's only 12:30 Eastern Standard Time today. But apparently maybe AM. Oh, 1:29 AM Eastern Standard Time. Interesting. But this XRP News Ripple CTOs challenge to SEC Spurs debate and forecast. So we've got a challenge by a Ripple CEO. So we'll get into that too as we go, as they're challenging one of the SEC's dispositions here. John Booglethorpe says, Tom would love a sense of how long Bitcoin's retracement might take. Also, how long XDC to 8.3 in your estimate. Thanks for all you do. There's no guarantee XDC goes to 8.3 cents, my friend. XDC was conditional. I think it's got a better than not chance to eventually get there. But remember, we have to get over first target, which as of right now, it was held as a resistance at 5 cents. And then we could start to push up, because there's a chance that this could retrace on the backside all the way to here, and then it would lower your target. Or you could fall back into here, and it could be a fake out. So we have to make sure. But right now, it looks like it's setting up in a bull flag kind of setup here. So how long would it take? Probably when Bitcoin finishes that handle. And then if it goes up to the next all-time high push, into the discovery phase, that's when you would get this massive breakout. And in that scenario, what a lot of people are missing, for a lot of the altcoins to have that kind of firepower, we're going to have massive corrections. We're going to have massive corrections. The only thing good about XRP is it did not overextend itself like most others. Like Shiba, Doge, Flare, H-Bar to an extent, Algo to an extent. These have all run better than 100% in the recent month or two. So they've overextended a little bit more. XRP's only gone up about 35-40% in the same run up. So there's less to correct, but more opportunity here, because a lot more people are sandwiched into such a small area to where we're clearing out all these spaces above, and it just, as where some of the other ones have already taken that topside liquidity. XRP hasn't yet. Never even came up to 75. When we had correction, we want 66.6 to hit, and then you have the correction like I've been saying. You go over it, and then you can start pushing up, but that'll probably likely cap all upside. This will keep the upside potential there. It sounds crazy, but that's why I say spot's king. Spot's king. It just is. You build a spot portfolio, then you can do what you want to do, but it's still very volatile, and it can change your whole disposition on crypto if you're leverage trading and you start losing out. Even if you have a good spot position, you start leverage trading, and now you start getting hammered a few times, And even though your spot position's up, you're like, I fucking hate crypto, and you start selling out of that, or you start losing that mindset, all because you got the gambler's mentality. Just buy the bear markets in the accumulation phase so that when we have high times of volatility like this, your portfolio is already so far up that you can make, like I've said, you can make a decision at 66.6 cents was my argument if you bought in at 38 point or 48.8, and you could decide whether it was a swing or you want to start building for the future. Now we have a decision, not us, but if you're watching. So let's continue. Extreme Ripple Pride, welcome in. I saw the last two liquidity drops about 5 minutes before they happened, and I wanted to hit the sell button so bad, but never did. Why? Got to ask yourself what's your profit margin? Are you still within the 35% tax hit inside of a year in the USA? Because you could sell it $1,000, sure, but you owe $350 on next year's taxes, 35% if it's inside of a year. Or if you understand the cycle's not finished yet for the long term, you could wait a year from whenever you bought it now instead of having to give them $350 when you sell it's only $150, $150. Matt Holden, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army along with Joshua for 5 months with the XRP predictor. Messi, Jorge, True, welcome in, says, never know when I'll be lurking. Mwahaha. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I appreciate the lurk. John Hall, welcome in as well. You're welcome, my brother. Moza here, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the XRP Meteor. Matt Holden is in Tom's Army for 5 months. Make sure to hit that like button as he's got the emoji badge, or the emoji badge. It's the XRP predictor. Familian, welcome in. The XRP bots follow Bitcoin more than Bitcoin follows itself. To an extent. To an extent. It's starting to look like what I'm saying with XRP though is on this ultimate bounce here with the ratio between XRP and Bitcoin and the trading pairs and with Ethereum. Now would be the time to suggest that on this next rally, when it happens, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, however long this consolidation takes, XRP is going to outperform both Bitcoin and Ethereum on the next rally, is what it's suggesting. You can't confirm anything until the move happens, but that's the amount of pressure that's being built up. Jay says, love the channel, Tom. Thanks for all your work. Hey, I appreciate that, Jay. Martin, welcome in. Hey, Tom, back on that XRP roller coaster again. 100%, it never ends. But just feel good that it's going up in increments. Rich, I'm new here. I like what you have been saying thus far. I appreciate that, Rich. Thank you so much. Wow, welcome in. I do appreciate that. Hit the like. Good luck. Yes, yes, yes. Please hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this video. I don't know how many likes we have. We have 96 out of 179. We can definitely do a lot better. I hold myself to a high standard, and if you respect me, you respect the work, or respect the fact that I put an enormous amount of my time, you will hit that like button so that you can help expand this community. Although Jaro said something about my dumb stream, I still think everybody should have a voice, so I'm going to show his comment. He says, XRP forever loser, you should end your dumb stream, you humiliating yourself. I mean, that's your opinion, but would it be humiliating to you if you turned 7 grand into 17 or 16 at this current moment by doing this dumb stream? So I appreciate your feedback. Jay said, thank you, Tom. Hello from Germany. Hey, I appreciate that. And furthermore, the money that's sitting in XRP was bought at 348 or 346. So my money sitting in XRP, even in high times of volatility, year over year, turned 35 into about still over 6. While the money could be sitting in the bank being devalued. I mean, whatever makes you happy. You could be using your time more productive, but all is well that ends well. You're being unproductive, we're being productive, but you are still here talking, so thank you. JZ, welcome in from Germany. Dark Rider, Mariana, MC Prosperity, welcome in. Mendoline, good evening, or good afternoon, I should say. Chris retracted his statement, but I'm sure he said, I love you, XRP future millionaire. Oh, he also commented and said, hi, Tom, Chris from South Africa. Welcome in from South Africa, my friend. Familian Gloom says, great rates as flipping altcoins into XRP, especially at the initial drop as XRP dropped so fast with Bitcoin. 100%. So you're looking at it in the objective way. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in. And yes, hit that like button like he says. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. Tom, could you do a TA on VeChain? You better believe I will. Kat, welcome in. Hi from Prince Edward Island, Canada. Thank you for warning. I waited to buy. Excellent, Kat. Excellent. Yeah, I tried to warn this morning on my update that we were in a rising channel, and technically we should more than likely fall to the downside. I put the top side target just in case it broke up to 77, But everybody knows rising channels, if you're watching my community, are bearish reversals if they can't break out initially. And seeing that we had that third hit of resistance and just couldn't break out, it told me that we're probably going to fall through, and we have now. Now we have to continue this drop, and it's technically a target around 55 cents, so we'll see. Manny says, hey man, the freaking best. Thank you for your awesome spot on TA. Says you're actually some of the few that actually know TA. I appreciate that. I put a lot of time into this, my friend. I do. I put a lot of time in this for not just me, but for all of us. It's true. I've been on YouTube since March of 2021 at the end of March, last day or two, so almost there. But I haven't missed a day in almost 3 years now. I've never missed a day since I've been on YouTube for a reason. Wawa says, not enough likes. What do you mean? 119 and 180 people watching. We're getting there. But don't disappoint. Wow. We need to get some more likes here so YouTube will recommend this. Percent better. Hold your bags right time. That's what I'm doing. I got no ambition to sell right now. Bitcoin just put in the biggest cup I've ever seen in my life in crypto. And now it's going to put in this handle. There's no reason to think that this would be a bullish handle right now. We're not even up to the halving yet. So I said very clearly, if Bitcoin did this leading into the halving and did the cup, and then the correction of the handle, we're going to have a huge pump leading into it. This is nothing yet. If this is what's going to build, it could be building into it, the bigger part of the pump as we get there, and then you'll have the big solid event somewhere as all the money pours in. Remember, with the halving, a lot of retail is going to start pouring in, and they're going to want to have maximum capacity. So now you've had the first run up. Now they're going to have the correction here on the handle for all big institutional money that would want to buy in on this last leg or the new leg. And then that's what should happen. I did not see what Theta did, Sean. I know it was up a lot, but I'm sure it probably experienced quite the swifty drop. Mariana, yes, we do respect all your hard work. Keep it up. I appreciate that, Mariana. Ben B, welcome in, and thanks for being in town on me for 3 months with the Meteor. And if anybody's new, I go through the comments in the beginning, say hi to everybody. Sometimes it takes 5 minutes, sometimes it takes 20, but it's something I owe the audience, and it's something I do unique. Johnny Horn, welcome in. Just went up on the 5 minute. We'll continue to look at this as we go. Bob Burner, welcome. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Axel, welcome in, one of the longtime viewers and a mod. Appreciate you being in here. John Carson, Coco, welcome in. Let's see. I don't know if we're going to have time to talk about AMM. I'm not going to lie. We might, but I'm probably not going to have enough time. Maybe in tonight's live. We just got so much to talk about here. Do I have any LCX, any thoughts on it? I do not, Ben, unfortunately. I don't have any thoughts on it as of now, but I could definitely do a little bit of homework and get back to you. And thanks for being in Tom's Army for 3 months with the Meteor. Gregory, welcome in. TA on Eagle or EGLD. I don't think we're going to have time to go outside of our normal TA today, folks. I'm just saying, respect what I got to do here, and maybe, but more likely it would be tonight. I'm sick of it. XRP pumps the slowest and dumps the fastest. What about those toys? That's a perspective most have, but not necessarily the proper perspective. Remember, XRP, when it has its proper run, and I continue to point to this, in 2021, in April, when XRP made its push from 63 cents up to $1.98, took 12 days. Took 12 days. From the start of the actual pump, it took 12 days to exhaust the entire move. So yes, it takes the longest, but it happens the quickest. That's why those with the patience mating through the 6-year plus consolidation since it at all-time highs, someone, somewhere, and I hope it's all of you and me, we're watching this right now, and we've been accumulating at the proper times. Now that I'm caught up, I can turn my phone off. I did not see Theta yet, Sean, but thank you for tuning in. Maybe we'll take a look. JBHK, welcome in, another mod in the house, a very long time viewer as well. So what are we looking with XRP? Right now, that looks like a gravestone piling up here, unfortunately. So that is a bearish proposition. Now, what I'm looking at very closely here with XRP is the fact that we front ran this and we recognized that there was a rising channel forming. I showed it in this morning's update when I put this chart up. And it's not even 100% because I was going through it this morning. But if we were going 100%, and this was actually on here properly, it should have come through something like this. Just like that. And then the technical target, although it's almost identical if it would have broke through here, it's still 77, so we're splitting hairs here. But now that we've broken through, Now, if we back test, remember when we started this, it should come up now, just a tiny bit. Because with the breakthrough, remember, you can't validate the move down unless you get rejected. Now it would be at about 63. Let's see the exact spot. 63.25 cents. If you get rejected there, we know the technical target is down here around, we're just going to say 55 cents. Let's not split hairs. 55 cents. Wow, thank you so much, Bob Bertner, for joining Tom's Army. You have just made me the happiest person in the world today. I often say if one person joined Tom's Army during the live, it'll make me the happiest person in the world today. And you have now made me the happiest person in the world today. Thank you so much, and I hope you appreciate the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. And yes, Bob, that is my face superimposed on that emoji badge. Amber, if you're watching out in the abyss, thank you for making me that many years ago, and I incorporated it into this channel when I started it. So all gains, what do you mean, what gains? So all gains lost again. It's perspective, what gains? Where did you buy in? If you're talking about the 66 to 60 cent correction or 63, you've barely lost any gains. You can make an educated and informed decision. See, somebody sitting around here and being a victim like you are and overshadowing what needs to be done is actually a very disservice to the community. You're sitting around here moping around like a little baby instead of realizing what's actually transpiring. You need consolidation, friend. Do you understand what happens after you fill out a cup? You need to put in a bullish handle. Nothing worth doing is worth doing when it's very easy, because then everybody the likes of you would be able to get in and enjoy it. You got to have the self-discipline and the respect and the dignity when you're dealing with the community than to mope around like you are. You're playing the victim role like many do in the USA, and it gets you nowhere, friend. So I suggest you brighten up, you do some real soul searching, and from me to you, you make do with the time you have on this planet. Because if you sit around complaining in here, you're probably complaining to your friends, complaining about your favorite video games, complaining about your fellow citizens. Like, you got to use your time constructively, my friend. But I do appreciate you commenting. But at the same time, you've got to be productive with your time. And this time in history, you're literally missing out for what, a weird flex? Thanks for the flex, friend. Move on. So, XLM in the same light, we also talked about how we had to move up. But with XLM, hey, thank you so much, Juan Brito Ortega, so much for joining Tom's Army for month 1. You got the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Colin, working on the degree. I do admire you working on your degree, but remember, the world moves faster than degrees can be handed out for a reason. The degree today won't be good in 10 years. That's how they get us in the endless loop. Education's fantastic, but you also need to affirm your actual positioning in life too. So, but I do admire you getting your education. I do like the education side of things. The wealthy all say we learn the most from failure. You are right about that, John. And John, thank you so much for joining Tom's Army. Like, seriously, my friend. He says, so embrace it when it happens. It's opportunity. Yes, indeed. Trade schools are the place to be. Who just said that? I seen that. I'm sorry I couldn't see the name because it was out of my left side, so I could only pick up what my right eye could see. Because I can't see out of my left eye for anybody who is new. I have keratoconus, so it's all blur. I have no depth perception. So sometimes I'll be in on the screen like this so I can see. But for XLM, remember, we had the 16-cent target. And then the initial retracement we were hoping would come down and 13.5 would be suffice. We don't know if this is going to be suffice. Because if it comes through here, we would just continue the consolidation. We would just continue the consolidation here. But we would hope that it would be able to hold this down here at 13.5. But if we do have a bigger consolidation, and Bitcoin does need to put in a bigger handle, like I said, there is the chance on these rejections, especially XRP around 63.2 cents. If we get that rejection on this rising channel, we don't need to... See, this is why I like to have everything out here. Wouldn't you rather be able to see what's happening instead of being afraid of the formation in front of us? I would rather be able to know that, yes, even though we're within bigger patterns, we have a rising channel, And now instead of freaking out, or like some say I should end my channel because it's humiliating or I'm embarrassing myself, I would suggest otherwise. I'm very comfortable and confident with what I put out here because I put information you won't see anywhere else. I dare anybody to tell me another station right now that's on right now that's showing you the diagnosis like this, that's going to keep you in real time. Like, I own a service. Well, I don't own a service, but I run a service that I believe is very valuable. So it's called positive reinforcement. I get a lot of negative connotations, but if you can positively reinforce yourself and be a self-motivator, and then also pick up on the positive vibes that the ones around you give, not just the negative, because the devil lurks everywhere, as I always say. The more successful you get, the more haters you get, the more opportunity you get to kind of try to negatively impact your audience for personal gain. These are all things you face when you start to build an audience. If you do it correctly and you do it true to yourself, you start building something that's different. And you can see in here, something's different. I can feel it. Something's different when I watch my community. XRP Perfection, thank you for being in Times Army for over 2 years with the 589 badge. Says, let's fucking go. I'm so pumped for assets right now. Appreciate you, Tom. I appreciate you too. I appreciate you too. 2 a.m. where you're from. Thank you for tuning in so late. Everyone in this space has the right to an opinion. Name calling makes you the baby. I didn't say you didn't have a right, but you were the one casting stones, friend. Remember, you came in casting stones. If you can't handle those stones being cast at you, I suggest you don't turn them. So, no time to be a victim right now, friend. You came in here insulting us, so now you got to own it. Grow a pair. 55 cents right here, but that's the last I'm acknowledging. So if I ignore your comment, no fear, because I'm avoiding confrontation during Lent. And I've done a good confrontation here, but still confrontation at that takes away from the ultimate agenda. So Bitcoin, we have to pay attention to this bullish handle that should be forming now. It's not formed. Notice, should be forming, because it's going to take time. And we don't know exactly where this handle is going to go. Like, we've got different perspectives here, but we've got to see where this exactly goes over the time. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I want to read that comment. It just came through so fast that I wouldn't have been able to do it due justice yet. But this is what we're watching, folks. And we're going to get rid of all of this. All of this. All of this. All of this. And we're going to start to look at possibilities. Bitcoin has the biggest cup I've ever seen out of Bitcoin. Let's just call it for what it is. Bitcoin 69,000 from April of 21 to March of 24. Hits that again. And now, does it come down here and come out? Can we get away with the handle to 60, 52? Like, that's the thing. How big of a handle are we looking at here? Yes, they have one. That's an excellent observation about XLM and XRP. They have absolutely been running together for a very long time. Now, the other thing I could see here, let me clean this up a little bit by deleting some of these dots. Sometimes I get overzealous. I'm hitting dots everywhere. But I need the critics here too, because they let me see if I've grown or not. So I need somebody to come in here and try to ruffle the feathers here a little bit every now and then. Because then I can see if I'm reacting as Tom in 21, 22, 23, or the 24 Tom. So that's what I need. Been holding XRP 6 years. Payday is months away at the most. 6 years, so you are sitting in an interesting spot because you were part of that big consolidation. So, were you part of the 350, or were you part of lower towards the 20, or somewhere in the middle at $1.25? I'm just curious. I'm always curious when somebody says. So, with Bitcoin, my first expectation, like I've been saying, with this cup formed, would be to come down here and come to this first tier cup area. So I keep pointing around that 50, 52,000. I want to see if this might be able to hold it. Like, maybe that's the bottom line. And maybe we won't come past it. Or maybe 60,000 can hold it. Hello, Tom. That's a crazy future run. Made about 9 grand on this run. I don't even know who said that. That is excellent. Obviously, you have to be cautious. Hold on. My door. Hold on. Oh, my Miss Julie's already back. Already back? Was it all done?
Yep.
You did a quick one today. Was he good?
I found out that, you know how he walks up only 4 steps at the park? Because they walk up 4 steps at therapy.
Oh, that's why he likes to do the 4 steps when we get to the park. Oh. My son just got back from his physical therapy. He did a good job. He got back a tiny bit earlier than I was assuming. But he's back nonetheless. He must have got in early.
Yeah.
But anyhow, so let's continue real quick while we have our time together. We still got about 25 solid minutes here. If you are just tuning in right now and you're like, I need to get it on an XRP and I'm in the USA, even Canada, but it's in the USA, it's hard for us to buy XRP, or at least a lot of times it goes down during high times of volatility. Look at the pinned comment. That's BITUNIX. They've been very good to us so far. They even updated their system a couple days ago to add 200 different trading pairs. You can use Ripple or XRP Ledger to send stuff back and forth. So that is a way of doing things. So take advantage of it. Lowest spot fees and trading fees in the USA. Canada has a trading license as of 24 with BITUNIX USA going back to 22. So that's just my personal suggestion, as I've been transferring funds more and more over there so that I can buy in high times of volatility if I want. I made a test today of $200 worth of XRP. I sent out and it went through even during the high drop. So I was happy to see that. So far I'm happy. It's been staying up over the last 7 months. And I'm just trying to make sure everybody has an opportunity depending on exchange. Because I started getting sick of Uphold being down at every moment of volatility. I know a lot of you are sick of Binance and Coinbase and Kraken and all these other ones being down during the high times of volatility. So far, so good. We've had a 9-month almost case study here. And we've been pleasantly surprised. Like, I was very upset when I realized that this exchange was staying up and the one I was using kept going down. So I started to leverage out and stop being so loyal to certain exchanges, more loyal to the ones who have been loyal to us. So the fact they haven't got rid of XRP since the lawsuit, they haven't gone away, they haven't run scared, and they do have a trading license in the USA, that's what I want to see. And the fact they don't make me use a VPN or I haven't even done a KYC on the exchange, FYI. I've sent my stuff over via different cryptos to fund my account, so I don't need to use a bank account, but I have not used or done a KYC. So that's a big thing for me too. If I want to just go from exchange to exchange, I don't want to have to do a know your customer personally. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. That's just my own personal belief. So that's how the whales do it. I should be able to do it too. And if you are watching, it says 225 people in here right now. Holy crap. Make sure that like button that means 71 people have not hit the like button. And I believe this information's worth the like. I really do. I put in a lot of work into doing this. So if you could hit that like button so YouTube will recommend this live and allow me to continue to grow my community. As today, I can't even believe it because 3 days ago we hit 20,500. Today we hit 20,600 subscribers, I'm proud to say. Just before we went on the live. So we're at 20,600 when we started the live. So for every one of you that are part of that 20,600, as we come up to our 3-year anniversary on March 30th approximately, I'm proud of what we've accomplished and the fact that we have not missed a day, not one single day during this run here. Sean, I got my bachelor's degree without a computer. I'm that old. Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately for you, or fortunately I should say for you, you got to see the hardcore learning. Right now, a lot of it's run by... Here's the problem right now, folks. With current model of education, for anybody who doesn't know, go take a look at ChatGPT. For any website developers, for anybody who's making, like, if your job is to make, like, to proofread, or if your job's to, like, type up papers, or, you're like an aide or anything like that, anything that has to do with website management, coding, anything, you can put that in the ChatGPT and it'll do it for you in a split second. So everybody who used to do those medial jobs, and those were the mid-tier jobs for the middle class, are being wiped out before our very eyes. Robotics are being wiped out before our very eyes. Auto industry, because they have robots now, are being wiped out. So a lot of these things that we're being taught for with education, especially from a computer side, are all being outdated because of the ChatGPTs and the AIs. So you have to understand, where there used to be 1,000 people working a job, there's going to be one who programs that AI. Or make sure that everything's fundamentally running. But those other 999 people are out of a job. So we have to make sure that we stay with the times. We all need a job, though. You need a job to fund your further vendetta. So if you're trying to buy crypto, if we're trying to buy, we have to have a job. That's where crypto comes in, but you have to buy at the right times. Right now, yes, it's been a consolidation, but now we need to back test, as we've said. If this is going to show, it's going to give us evidence if we're going to break down. If it's going to break down, it's going to give us evidence. And we already knew our target was to come up to the rising channel resistance. Now to see if we're going to have a continuation or have to have a bigger drop before continuation back to the resistance side of things at 69 cents. Now we have to see with that, is that just a wick or is it something more? If it's something more, we're going to get rejected right around 63.3 cents approximately. So just say 633. I would expect an overzealous push to 641, I'll just be honest, to try to get some buyers back if it was bearish and push that 200 in the short term. But in the 30-minute, it's going to be tricky, though, because the 200 runs right along here at 633. So that 633 mark would be a beautiful spot for us just to have a quick rally here. And then that's going to tell us whether we're bearish or bullish. If we get rejected there, we know we have to finish this drop of 12% down to 55 cents. That's the tactical move out of that rising channel. I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but we've talked ever since the move from 48.8. Once we hit 66.6 cents, a correction was needed. We didn't know if it would be 50, 55. It just happens to measure out now at 55. So that's what we're looking at right now. Some can come in and say that XRP always dumps after a pump. Well, from 48 to 66, and then the hold at 55 is still a 7 cent move per token, even during a consolidation. So, you know, we have to look at it for what it is. Going into some other ones real quick while I have the time. VeChain, as we've already talked about XLM. VeChain, if you knew, we bought in at 1.6 cents, 22,222 tokens. VeChain right now was working on a very nice formation, but as most of them now, we've had such a big volatile spike that we are trying to ultimately come up to finish, in my opinion, that cup up there, but it's going to take time. We talked about how it could come up to 6.3 and get that first rejection. Hasn't come up there just yet. Does this mean in the weekly we're totally broken down? No, but the 4-hourly suggests, you know, it's time to kind of consolidate here. Like I said, with XRP, it's not just XRP. A lot of these started showing the same tendencies. It's just a matter of you've got to find it. You've got to put it in the proper spot. And like for me, VeChain's a hard one to do. But if we start looking at a rising channel with VeChain, or at least a upward consolidation that could be a bearish reversal, you know, for consolidation, a lot of these started showing this similar pattern. We showed it with XRP, but again, it's hard to diagnose it because you've got it coming through in different time frames. So if you break it down into smaller time frames, you can actually see how this transpired. You started down here, you came through a second and a third time right there. And this is how I would do it probably. This isn't necessarily like XRP is like a channel. This looks more like an upward consolidation. So this could be a bullish consolidation for VeChain. We don't know. But if you're looking at VeChain, I would say probably, God, it's so tough with VeChain because I could also look at it a different way with VeChain and say, you know, maybe it's the start of something even different. Maybe we're expanding this, you know, and this is where my argument for VeChain keeps coming in my own head. I would almost look like you could do that, and then maybe with the recent evidence, we could kind of say it's starting something like that. I almost want to say that's what's going on with VeChain. And yeah, it's all speculative when you get into the run areas. But for me, I'm trying to make some logic, some sense out of this, and I almost think that's what VeChain is trying to tell us. And if we shorten this, see, I feel like VeChain's trying to tell us something. Just like XRP. And these are like these rising channels. And yeah, they're disguised as bullish continuations, but these can actually be bullish consolidation. So, I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at this, if VeChain were to break down and lose the 4 or 5 area, now you have to start talking about the breakdown. If it doesn't break down and it breaks up, and I like to go from the back end. I know it can get wider at the end, but I like to start from here so we don't have an overzealous look. But if it were to break down, I mean, you could seriously be looking at a consolidation back to 344, and some would say, oh, crypto's giving it all back. Crypto's a pile of junk. But when you buy it at 1.6, you're still up 100%, and you embrace these. I sold VeChain the first time around. It was over 20 cents VeChain got. So to think that this is bothering anybody who understands the accumulation phase, I think it bothers people more that don't understand how to trade, and they try to come in and trick you out of selling or, get overzealous. So what? It does, then comes back. Who cares? So now for the first time, you've come over this big pivot point and held 3 for good. Or even if it has an overzealous move, as long as it holds the breakout. But this is what it's starting to look at to me. So that's VeChain. I hope that helps. Hope that helps. You got VeChain at 0045. Wow. You are very early. See, I bought VeChain. Everything I own, I sold everything that I had before in the 2021 bull market when it was topping out. And I didn't buy back in until 23 in my stuff. In different times, obviously. So all mine are from 23. H-bar's up 1.07% to 11.81 cents. H-bar was the first one that showed us this channel. Let's just call it for what it is. Has 4 hits on resistance. I mean, notice when I said everything is starting to show the same rising channel problem. I get that, my friend. Trust me, I get your problem. I'm just not going to bring it to light. I'm not going to say something like that because, honestly, you're still up from 0.004 and it's at 3.5. So at least you had the foresight to buy it so early. Marvin, welcome in. A lot of the computer jobs work with AI. They aren't necessarily removing workers to replace them with AI. We work with AI. Early on, they're not removing you. But what I'm saying, okay, for example, yeah, sure, your particular job, maybe some of you stick around, but what I'm saying with AI, insurance agents, yeah, they have understanding of the computer, but AI can do the insurance agent's job now. You don't need the agent. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, you need to find your sector. Con, I'm very happy for you that you found a sector that works and that can work with AI. That's what I'm saying. You have to adapt. And it sounds like you have. You found something that can adapt with AI, and that's all I was saying. So somebody watching is obviously going to be participating in that field. And I think our audience does actually a pretty good job here at staying ahead. XDC, as we know, XDC is a very big one with us. We still don't know where exactly the breakout's going to happen. We've had different targets of where it could possibly break out if it breaks through. But right now we must hold. Let me get rid of this so we can see. We must hold. If we're looking for the first tier breakout, you're wanting this to hold at 437 area. 437 area. That's what we're looking at. So I think we're looking okay though. I know we're having our consolidation, but this is what we were expecting. If it didn't come up to 66.6 cents and started doing this, then I'd be a little problem. Then I would have had a little problem. But the fact we came up and we've done it in rotation beautifully, the fact Bitcoin came up to 69K and hit all-time highs before starting to form a handle, this is what we want. Somebody said, can you look at Quant real quick? I can. Down 1.81% at $126.20. Quant, I mean, I've had this drawn out. I mean, now it's starting to rotate through what we drew out. But we talked about the cup and then the handle formation. Now, it's just, did we do enough with Quant? Let me get rid of this. Did we do enough? Because if we do, once this consolidation's done, it could come down farther, though, to like 116. But once that's done, you could technically have a nice breakout with Quant here. And we can, see, I don't really want to draw anything in with Quant just because we can see clearly we've got this first layer. But is it destined to ultimately come up there? I think so. But if this is the first layer, you could have something like this and then push up. So just pay attention here. It's definitely a lot of these are starting to build these two-tier setups. We've seen it with Bitcoin on the first tier, and then it came up. So Quant's definitely in a consolidation phase that could bring it down as low as 110, 116. But this is dependent on Bitcoin. The whole market's going to do what Bitcoin does here. Gold right now, under the radar, is up to 2,131. Less than $25 from all-time highs again, or $20. B2 Gold was under the radar at $2.35 or 37 cents when I bought back in, just because crypto was doing what it's doing. Silver at 23.77. The gold silver ratio was up to 93 not too long ago. It's still at 89.6. The DXY is continuing to rotate, but we already know the DXY, it failed its initial move up. It did the initial technical target that we talked about at 104 spot 994. But we said if it came back into this, the likelihood of it staying bullish is going to be tough. So now with the breakdown, there is a possibility it has to shoot all the way back down to 102. Now, do I expect it? Probably not, but it's definitely out there right now. Total crypto market cap's at 2.388 trillion. And I appreciate everybody who stuck this out until the end. I know what we want to see might not be there right now, but I can tell you, we put this up here for a reason, that cup area. That was the spot where we could stop here. That's the first tier we thought where we could actually hit and start to rotate. Now, it did not come to 2.71. It actually did stop here at that 2.5 area. That's what we were talking about, and it did stop there. So it did fill out the initial area. Now it's a matter of, are we going to dump all the way back down to like 2.13? Is that how we build it? It's possible. It's possible. It's possible we end up looking at something just like this. You know, and a lot of these are finishing off now. So, whoops. Now it's like lagging, but a lot of these are starting to finish off. So we just have to come to the understanding we're in the consolidation phase, and Bitcoin's going to run the show from here. Whatever size handle Bitcoin decides to put on before the halving, and then the initial run up leading into it again, that's what we're bound by it right now. So don't get overzealous. Don't be too emotional. Understand we're still very much in an accumulation phase. And for XRP, as we said, the rising channel, we're back into it. But now we've got to back test it likely. That could be how XRP comes down and retest that lower area. The market cap does dump from 35, or how it was all the way up at 36.6, and it does come down and retests this ascending formation breakout at 32. But like I said, I'm not going to come in here any day, and I'm not going to lie to you. So, yes, it's looking bearish. Yes, we've already exhausted our technical target of 66.6 cents from the run-up at 48.8 cents. And now we've got to consolidate. Our technical move on this breakdown, if you're just tuning in, out of this rising channel that's been formed since late February, leading into the start of March here, this rising channel suggests that if we do back test it and get rejected, that, where the heck is it at? Oh, it took my chart off again. Why am I not surprised? TradingView does this so much that if you're on TradingView, don't get frustrated. Notice how it threw my chart way down there, even though I talk about it the same way all the time. So what formed here is XRP formed a rising channel, assuming I can even find it. Here it is. The rising channel, and it started February 27th. And now we broke through it on March 6th. And if we get rejected on this retest, our technical target's 55 cents. I'm comfortable with this because we drew it out before the drop. So now, to me, we're not trying to draw it as after it happened, after the fact. We drew it before this part right here dropped down. We were just speculating earlier. But now if we do get a rejection here at 63 point, we'll just say 634 area. You get a rejection there, the technical target's to drop down to 55 cents. So take that with you throughout the day if you're an XRP holder. If you're expecting to buy some XRP, just know that if we do get a rejection, instead of buying it at 63 cents, you're going to get an opportunity around 55. So with that, I'm going to read a little bit more. I know there was a lot more hecklers in the comments, but that's just something everybody's going to have to deal with the bigger we grow. And then obviously some people are jealous. So you're going to get a lot of jealousy of people that will tell you you're missing out, but in fact, they're not invested. And even though you might be up 80% and they think it's a joke, 80% to their 0% is a lot of percent. You do that, compounding that time after time, you know, you make yourself a new living. XRP News, Ripple CTOs challenge the SEC Spurs debate and forecast. So one last time, if you do appreciate my work, consider joining Tom's Army, as we had 2 people join Tom's Army during this live, which is incredible. So I think the 2 new members, it really does help pay it forward. Or consider one time per month, as it is in the early part of a month, to send one YouTube super chat per month if you don't want to join Tom's Army as a way to pay it forward. Nobody sent a YouTube super chat this live, but we're not going to get one every live. What makes me happy is 2 people joined Tom's Army and the amount of people that stayed here and tried to get the knowledge and education. If you're here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the over 20,600 subscribers. And also make sure to hit that like button so that YouTube will recommend this live. And if you're trying to trade XRP, even in the USA or Canada, look at BITUNIX. I put it on my tab on this live in the comments. It's in the pinned comments. No VPN or KYC needed in the USA. Lowest spot and futures trading fees. And they've had XRP during this whole lawsuit. They've never got rid of us. They've always had our back, and it doesn't go down during high times of volatility like most of the other exchanges, including the 94% rally in July last year is when we started watching it because we're like, why is this exchange running while all of ours are down? And that's when we started to do a case study, and now it's more than a case study. It's something different. XRP gained 2 or 3 points. So make sure you find an exchange you can have on the high drop. So if we have a drop and you want to buy, don't get timed out. XRP gained 3.23% on Monday, closing the session at 64.8 cents. MicroStrategy fundraising news contributed to the broad-based crypto market gains. On Tuesday, SEC versus Ripple and Coinbase case related news and Bitcoin spot ETF market flows needs consideration. So the Monday overview. On Monday, XRP gained 3.23%, reversing a 2.68% loss from Sunday. XRP ended the session at 64.8 cents. Significantly, XRP revisited the 66 handle for the first time since December 11, 2023. Bitcoin surged 8.02%, but as we know, this is irrelevant because on Tuesday we actually had all-time highs now, but this is telling you leading into Tuesday. So on Monday, MicroStrategy planning to raise, or news of MicroStrategy planning to raise $600 million through a private offering drove buyer demand for Bitcoin and the broader market. However, XRP trailed the broader crypto market. On Monday, the total crypto market cap increased by 5.9%, $135.984 billion to $2.441 billion. As we know, it's around $2.32 billion right now. But this is the news I wanted to talk about. SEC versus Ripple. Ripple CTO Schwartz joined the securities debate. On Monday, Ripple chief technical official David Schwartz shared a CNN News article about Tesla, saying, I'd love to hear the SEC explain why Tesla isn't selling unregistered securities. The post highlighted the SEC's continuing pursuit of crypto firms, asserting that all crypto except Bitcoin are securities, which is laughable. In the SEC versus Ripple case, the SEC and Ripple are preparing remedy-related briefs. The SEC and Ripple will argue for and against a punitive penalty for breaching Section 5 of the U.S. Securities Act. In July of 2023, Judge Annalisa Torres ruled Ripple failed to register XRP as a security in sales to U.S. institutional investors. However, Judge Torres also ruled that programmatic sales of XRP did not satisfy the third prong of the Howey test. Since July of 2023, ruling on programmatic sales, the SEC filed complaints against Binance, Coinbase, and Kraken, amongst others. Coinbase and Kraken have responded to the charges, filing motions to dismiss. The Coinbase motion to dismiss MTD remains the focal point in the crypto market, having filed the motion to dismiss in August of 2023. A ruling could come at any time. Coinbase argued the SEC lacked the statutory authority to regulate crypto exchanges. If Judge Catherine Feli grants the MTD, the SEC may have to end its regimen of regulation through enforcement. A ruling in favor of Coinbase may also force the SEC to settle the ongoing case. This is against Binance, Kraken, and Ripple. A settlement with Ripple would end SEC plans to appeal against the programmatic sales of XRP ruling. And now let's take a look at XRP's price action according to the daily chart. XRP remained well above the 50-day EMA, 200-day EMAs, sending bullish price signals. XRP breakout from Monday high of 66.72 would give the bulls a run at 70 cents. As we know, it was rejected. SEC versus Ripple and Coinbase or COIS-related updates on Bitcoin spot ETF market flows need consideration. However, a break below the 6354 support level would bring the 5835 support level into play, which is firmly in play right now. We're just looking for that rejection around 6333 right now on that rising channel that was formed on February 27th of this year in XRP. The technical target would be just about 55 cents and some change on a drop. 58.3 could act as an initial support level, however. The 14-day RSI reading of 72.79 shows XRP is overbought territory. Selling pressure could intensify at the Monday high of 66.72, which is exactly what happened. On the 4-hourly, XRP sat well above the 50-day and 200-day EMAs, confirming the bullish price trends. But we fell below the 66.72 support, or at least we weren't able to use that as a support and move up towards 70. We fell through the 63.54, which means we will likely make a run at the 60.7 cent 50-day EMA lines. The 4-hourly RSI was at 63.53, but it came up and then it failed, and that would have initiated a move to 68, but it failed just about 67 cents. And now with Bitcoin, obviously, I just wanted to read that for a little backstory. But with Bitcoin hitting the all-time highs, they're now reversing to build the handle. We had no choice but to have a bearish proclamation here, at least for the next cycle here. So thank you all for tuning in this live. I thank each and every one of you. Hopefully for the 142 that stuck it out during the article, you guys will all come back and watch live tonight at around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. John, one last look at Bitcoin for the handle size. It's 100% a debate right now where this handle goes. But if we're looking at it logically, I mean, it's impossible to say exactly where we're going to end up going. Where we're actually going to go here, though. It's impossible. Because it could be, we could be looking at a handle, maybe 60,000. But, I mean, in my own sense, it's going to have to retest a handle somewhere around that broadening wedge breakout and hold that area first here. So, I'm targeting like 53,000 for our first chance. But some have speculated as low as 38,000. I could see it coming to 48. But I really don't want it to come to 38. I can't explain it. But I feel like that's too far of a pull down. I would love to see it sit somewhere around how I have it. Even I don't think 60,000 would be a big enough pull down. But again, you know, it could come all the way down. And it could end up doing something to where it is all the way down here at 38 or 40. I could see it. It's just I would prefer for it to be a handle like I've put in there. And be able to make do with the correction, you know, of approximately 20%. Otherwise, you're looking at a 35 to 45% correction. And I don't know if it's going to come way down there. I don't know. 38 is far. That's the thing. So I'm targeting around 52 for our first chance to form that bullish handle. But if you're looking at it from an objective perspective, like in a positive fashion, 60,000 with that, or 59,900, right around that area, that psychological support zone, maybe, just maybe, we could find something there, but I still am looking for a proper handle to be placed. So thank you all so much. I'm going to end this before my voice starts cracking, and then I won't be able to do a live tonight. So I hope to see everybody.